Alrighty, good morning. Update on the trailer wiring saga. It continues. Took the van back into the shop this morning, talked with the the service manager, also known as the shop foreman. His name's Brian. I think he's a reasonable guy. So I went in, I said, I want you to come out and just take a look at all this sloppy work. So we come outside. He agreed. He was embarrassed. He said, yeah, it looks bad. Give us a chance to make it right. And I said, well, that's fair. I said, I'm thinking maybe you should just refund me a large portion of this. And he said, well, I would really like you to give us a chance to make it right. And I agreed because I'm a fair person. So I'm giving them a chance to make it right. So actually, they've already made a lot of it right. It was Brian is the parts manager, and then there's Chris. I think he does something else in service, but he's like the lead guy over there. So all three of us got out in the parking lot, and I point out everything, and they start fixing it. They start tidying up the wiring. They start tracking it down to make sure it's tracked right and all that, and they had all that tidied up in no time. And then we move on over to the broken fuse box, and I said, I'm not the kind of guy to come in here and say, you have to buy me a new fuse box. I said, I'd really like to avoid that. And he said, no, you need a whole new fuse box because we're not gonna be able to put a latch on this and make it seal right. So he said, I'm already talking with the parts guy over at Bradley Chevrolet because all the parts on this GMC van are exactly the same as the Chevy Express. So that's not a problem. And he said, the thing is, some of these fuse boxes, you have to program them. So we're trying to figure out if this one has to be programmed. And if so, the Chevy place will have to do that. It comes with all the stuff in it. So it's not quite as big of a job. All the fuse blocks and all that stuff come in it. So when they pop the old one out, I'm gonna keep the old one. I'll bag it up, seal it up real tight, and just keep it with me. That way I'll have all those extra fuses and all that stuff. But that's in the process. He just texted me right before I started this video, and he said, I forgot to ask you, does that van have an electric fan clutch? And I'm like, I have no idea. So apparently that's an important question to answer before they send me a fuse box, because apparently there are different fuse boxes that go in these vans depending on the model. So I don't know what to look for, how to tell. So I'll probably have to run back down there again tomorrow, but I'm not going anywhere again today. I'm settled back into my little parking spot off the road here. I got to get a shower, so I need to set all that up. That's the first order of business. And I'm starving, and I need to eat. I'm not driving around anymore today. So the good news is the wiring mess is all tidied up. Feel much better about it now. But the fuse box, we tinkered on it for a while. And he said, even when we put the new fuse box in it, we're going to have to do a little modification over here on the side. It has like a little roof on it that overhangs. And they're going to have to cut a little notch out about big around as a pencil for the wires to go through. That's not bad because it can be put at a certain place where if you poured water on it, it still wouldn't go into the fuse box. So I'm cool with that. I think it's going to work. So the gist of this is I went in this morning, very cordial, but serious. I wasn't in there ranting and raving and like a lunatic. And I think behaving right is going to help me in the long run, because there's two ways you can go about this kind of thing. You can just go in there and say, I demand this and I demand that, make a big scene. I'm trying to avoid that. And when this is all done, I hope to be able to stand in their parking lot, show you a big picture of their sign, and tell you that they made it right. That's what I hope to be able to do at the end of this whole saga. So keep your fingers crossed. But I don't want to be in Havasu. I want to be in Yuma. That's where I want to be. But I got to hang out here until this is all done. And I'm not afraid to tell you, I'm really nervous about an entire fuse box going into the van. There could be a lot of electrical problems if they just don't hook one thing up right. But I got to keep those thoughts out of my head. I got to stay with a bright outlook on it. Got to do it. I think it's human nature to think of the negative first. So, trying to avoid that. There comes someone in a minivan camper. That's what is that, Nissan? It's like a pretty big minivan. Yeah, that thing's really big to be a minivan. That might be a good option if you're gonna do a minivan camper. That thing just looked bigger than the Dodge Caravans that most people use. So, oh, I did find something else when I got here. Let me show you this, that I didn't even notice. I'm gonna have to get them to reroute the wiring because Sloppy Joe wrapped the wire where I can't even use my emergency brake. I went to set the emergency brake just now, and it felt funny. So I get down there looking, and the wire's rubbing on the arm of the pedal thing. So when I go back, I'm gonna have to get him to move that around. So here's a funny story. So while we were out in the parking lot tinkering and getting all this done, guess who comes dragging by? Sloppy Joe himself. And I started humming that song. You remember Adam Sandler singing on Saturday Night Live back in the 90s? It was sloppy, sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe, sloppy, sloppy Joe. I started singing that as he walked by. But I don't know why they keep him around. I mean, I want him to work. I don't want him to get in trouble. So I'm not pressing it, because you know, he could turn it around. But you can just tell when you can feel his energy when he comes around. He has absolutely no concern about anything that he's doing. You can feel it from him. It's just he's got that long sourpuss look on his face, and he drags around like, God, I hate being here. And I've been in jobs where I hated being, and you know what I did? I got a different job. That's what I did. Don't ever work a job that you hate too long, because it'll make you like Sloppy Joe. Yeah, I'm trying to get down this hill here. Yeah, there's been times I felt like Sloppy Joe, so I get it. But Sloppy Joe's gonna have to make a decision. Can't do people like this. That's a lot of money. You gotta do a good, nice, tidy job so people feel good about spending that money, you know. But I am definitely gonna give them the chance to make it right. I think that's only fair and reasonable. So I'm not gonna press it, but if it ends up not being right, then, you know, I'm gonna turn the tone on him a little bit. So, hey, you know, he did a half-assed job, and I think you should give me back half of it. Since his job was half-assed, then the pay should only be half-assed. How about that for fairness? But that might be totally unnecessary. We'll see. So maybe tomorrow they'll have the fuse box in, and I'm gonna stand there and watch Brian do it himself. He said he can do it. He said it's difficult to get to. That's the hard part, because, you know, you've got some hoses running over it, and you know how they build these modern cars. Everything's crammed in there. So he said that's the hard part, just getting down in there to it. But he said, I know how to hook it, how to wire it up. So we'll find out if he puts everything in there, and then the Matty Wagon is dead. Oh my God. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers. And also Sloppy Joe, he needs a lot of thoughts and prayers. So I'll end with this. Sloppy, sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe, sloppy, sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe, sloppy, sloppy Joe.